a new segment I'm going to try for a little bit. We're going to do this one every single week, and it's just highlighting the latest tracking for the box office. It's called Blockbuster Bets. That's was as creative as I could be with the segment name, so have fun with that one. But anyway, box office is kind of a big topic right now, and some people are really freaking out about it, just losing their minds over it. So I thought, why not we, track the box office? We update where the projections are going and how these movies are tracking, right up to the opening weekend, and then predict the opening weekend, and then we can start predicting where they can go from that weekend onwards. The thing is with this segment that we're going to do, I'm only really going to run it if there is blockbusters coming out. Once we get to the end of July, it's kind of a dry spell then to around like October, so we won't do it then. But during the summer movie season, it's a good time to see how movies are trending for opening weekend, and the box office has just been absolutely horrid this year so far. So for this one, we're just going to be keeping things up to date on the opening weekend, and for finding out these tracking numbers here, I use kind of a multitude of sources, and then I use 16 years of following the box office, using all that information that I've learned over that time, seeing the trends, and then just kind of placing my own bias or thoughts on top of where these movies are tracking. So I got 5 here from the biggest movies for the rest of summer, pretty much, I would say. So we'll start out, and then I'll just get Nain's take, and Nain, you can tell me if, over or under or bang on the money, all right? So we got Inside Out 2 with 105 million. The tracking right now suggests something between 90 and 100 million. But I believe, we got really great positive reactions. We're going to get really good reviews coming out of it. And then, there's also going to be a demand for a quality family animated movie for the summer movie season while they're all on school holidays. I think Inside Out, it breaks past its tracking numbers, gets to about that 105 million, which will be very good for it. It'll be the biggest opening weekend of the year so far, so they'll be really great. Despicable Me 4, I'm suggesting an 82 million 3-day weekend. That's just a touch over tracking. I don't love the franchise, but I have a lot of faith in the franchise to bring in box office numbers. Like, how can you argue against it? I mean, Minions in 2022, Minions 2 nearly made $1 billion. And that was during that kind of COVID recovery time. So I got 82 million for the 3-day weekend, just above tracking. And then in line with tracking, I got over 100 million for the 5-day weekend that it comes out on. I think it's the Independence Day weekend. I also see that one next Sunday. So not looking forward to that. Twisters. I think this one will be a surprise hit for people. They've already, had tickets available for people to purchase. It's tracking quite well right now. I'm more on the low end of it, and I'm just saying I'm on the low end of it because Deadpool Wolverine releases the weekend after Twisters. And in an economy where people are kind of holding on to their money, being a little bit more cautious with how they spend, we're in recession, all that kind of stuff. Inflation's very real. I think they're going to be, saving their money for that big event film at the end of the summer, which will be Deadpool Wolverine. So I think I'm going to be on the low end of tracking, unless I see new information come through that says I'm wrong on that one. And then we head to the big event one, which is Deadpool Wolverine. I'm very much on the high end of this one. No tracking suggests that it's at this number yet, but I think we're going to get there. We've got a lot of time to get there. Deadpool Wolverine, I think it's going to have a 193 million opening weekend, absolutely demolishing the R-rated opening weekend record so far. And then A Quiet Place Day 1, 43 million opening weekend. I think it'll be fairly fine for the Quiet Place franchise. I think it's pretty much in line with the first two. So, what do you think on these ones? Over, under, or right on the money?
I think Inside Out, probably give or take, obviously, like a couple million, but I think that's bang on. I think Despicable Me, I think that could go huge. I don't know, just minion power, man. You just can't like bet against it, I think it might be a little bit more higher. I'm talking about the 5-day holiday thing. I think it might be a bit more higher than 100 million. It might get Inside Out 2 numbers, so Inside Out's 3-day numbers, but over those 5 days. So I'm thinking right about that 105, give or take, a couple million. Twisters, I think you're bang on. I think it might come in a little bit less, maybe. I mean, it's based on a sequel that released in the 90s that very few people would know except for 90s people. It could be like, the next Top Gun where a legacy sequel hits, but yeah, who knows? That one's probably the most interesting one, just to see
tricky, but yeah.
Yeah. Deadpool Wolverine, you absolutely went for the fences with that one, didn't you?
I'm sticking by my guns, dude.
Part of me wants to say 200 million is in question. If it wasn't R-rated, I think 200 million definitely would have been on the cards for sure, if not a lot more. But I think it might go around about 160 to 170.
Yeah.
I reckon that's my little bet. Now, Quiet Place Day One. Previous two films have tracked around this. You don't have the same director or cast members in it, so why would people want to go see a prequel and have it make a lot more? So I think that's pretty much bang on as well. So apart from, those two, I think you're pretty much bang on. Obviously, give or take a couple million, but yeah.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I completely agree with the twisters. It's a tricky one, but it's very interesting. The tracking so far suggests 50 million plus, but it's hard to see that become a reality right now, just because it is based from an IP of the 90s, and that can be a hit or miss. Sometimes these legacy sequels, they don't make any money at all, and sometimes they really blow up like Top Gun Maverick did. As for Deadpool Wolverine, I admit it, I'm swinging for the fences. The tracking absolutely suggests that it will break the record for R-rated opening weekends, which I think is around that 130 million mark. So it's absolutely going to demolish that regardless. But how high can it go is actually the question. If I didn't have to put a number on it, I would have said above Avengers Age of Ultron, but below the Avengers, the first one. So I think that's probably the safe range, or not the safe range for it, the really high range for it. But I have a lot of faith in it. I think there is a lot of demand for a big event movie right now. It's been a really quiet year. These kind of are your biggest movies of the summer as well. So it's a really weak year for that summer movie season. People want a movie where it's a packed cinema and everyone's kind of reacting and having fun with it. Having that collective cinematic experience together. Yeah. All right. And for you guys, Blockbuster Bets, let us know if you want us to keep doing this, because if you don't, then we won't. But I will be tracking these week by week throughout the summer movie season. So let me know if you want me to keep doing it and following along with how these projections are. And if you disagree, if you think my tracking or my projections are wrong right now, please let me know. Let us know where you think these movies are going to fit in.